Hi, my name is Kim and welcome to my channel. We are starting a Booktube Newbie tag. A little introduction about myself. I'm just going to go straight into it because I'm a little nervous. I don't normally pre-record. When I used to make content, it was always live in the moment. So pre-recording is a little, I don't know, it's different. It just feels a little awkward. But anyways, I'm Kim. Very, I would say, new to reading. As in terms of novels, if a little bit of background of myself, I don't normally read books for fun. I shouldn't say all books, unless it's for educational purposes, but I will say, ever since I was small, I've always read manga. Ever since I learned about, even before the internet, right? We always had bookstores, Barnes and Nobles and whatnot. So, Borders. So we'd always go there and read books, me and my friends. But mainly the books that I was more attracted to and always read for hours on end was manga, and up until now. The thing is with manga, I binge read that, and so I like to wait a couple months until a lot of chapters come out, because I do read it online, and then I start reading it for a couple days, and then I take a break again. So it's a little bit different with books, because some of it has trilogies, duologies, 7 to 9 book series, or it's just a standalone. And so it's just different, and there's pictures and everything. It's just different. I love, 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 love manga. That will never change. But reading books, I think the last book, if I were to think about it, was for fun, on my own, without the school or English class telling me to read it, was Twilight. Hear me out. I know there's a lot of Twilight fans, but it was just a little dip into it, right? And this is before the movie came out. This is when I was in middle school. And I think they just announced that they were gonna make a movie, but it was just book 1, and I couldn't put that book down. I think it was the first time I ever read something that I didn't even want to stop, or I didn't even want to eat, you know what I mean? So, but that was it. I didn't continue on the rest of the series, and I don't even remember much of the book. But that was the last time. I am many years past middle school, and it wasn't until 2025 where I thought, I guess now is a great time to start reading. Reading novels, or whatever you call it, anything that's not manga, right? I want to read more stories based on that. And so I did. And I guess that's a good summary of my reading. Also, if you are looking into this channel, because I'm very new, okay? Very, very, very new to the whole reading scene in general that's not anime related. The books you're going to see here are probably very popular, either TikTok videos or whatever it's called. Oh my god, I don't even know. I'm not on it that often. So if anything, the books I learn are more on Booktube. But I know there's a whole scene of books on TikTok. So popular ones on there or on Booktube again. Yeah, so it's nothing not too interesting, but nothing too hidden gem, you know what I mean? It's probably a title you have heard. It's probably a title you've seen when you walk past a big bookstore like Barnes and Noble's, on the table, right on the front. They're not super cutty, you've never heard of it before, right? This is the channel, you're gonna discover it now. You have most likely have at least seen the cover or have heard it being mentioned somewhere else. So just a little disclaimer, right? Because I want to join the conversation too. I want to have fun and see what's good about these books, or what I don't agree with as well, right? Not agree with, but just don't vibe with. Whoa, that was fast. Okay, sorry, we're back. My partner just came home and brought some food. Not home. I don't think I said this in the beginning, but this is not my house. This is a hotel. We're actually going to go to Disneyland tomorrow. And so don't get used to this scenery. This is not my place. So just wanted to make sure I said that. I should have put that in the beginning, but whatever, it's fine. But yeah, I forgot where I left off. But we might as well start getting into it. So I don't really have any previous books, if it's not manga, unless you're interested to know what I'm in, what I read manga wise. But I have no other book recommendations of previous things I've read because I was just a child. So as an adult reading, I don't really have anything to say. So we'll start with the books that I have read. So we're going to transition into what I've read in January and February. And I think we'll do this every 2 months. I was thinking every quarter, but I think 3 months is a long time, and I do read a couple books within a month nowadays. I might as well talk about it. I want to talk to you guys. Honestly, I just want to talk to you guys. So I don't want to wait 3 months to talk or do a little wrap up, right, of the books I've read. And I think March specifically was a pretty great month for books for me, or at least I've enjoyed all the books I read in March. And so I can't wait to share that. But we'll start with January. It's a little bit of a lie. I read nothing. I started a book towards the end of the month, and I finished it in the first week of February or whatnot. So in January, technically, I didn't finish any books. But in February, this all world books come down, all this stuff, right? I'm a little nervous to bring up the first book. Mainly, this is the book that started it all, y'all. This is the book that started me on reading, and I will always thank it for that. Besides that, that's all I can thank it for. Social media got me. I keep seeing this title. You're gonna know what it is immediately, but I keep seeing this title all over before I didn't even look at books on my own media. So it reached me, and I was like, oh my god, I love dragons. So I might as well try this out, right? But I didn't want to buy anything. And I do have Audible because I do listen to books for school. It helps me finish the book faster, in my opinion, and I take it in pretty well. So I have credits, so it's free for me on Audible. And can you guess what it is? Dragons. Fourth Wing. I do not have the physical book. I only have the Audible, and I don't. Hello, I'm so scared to talk about this book. Because I know there's like a huge following for this. There's a huge fan base for Fourth Wing. And I'm sorry. Immediately, within probably like the first 5 chapters, I realized I was not the target audience for this book. It's not like an age thing. It's just more like the type of writing style. Like, I didn't even know what I liked yet, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't even know what was bad or good for me to take in, for me to enjoy. And so, reading Fourth Wing really taught me about myself, what I enjoy about a book and what I don't enjoy. Moving forward, I'll tell you my rating. I might as well tell you my rating. It's 2 stars. 2 stars. I at first gave it 3 stars because I felt bad. I felt like there was something wrong with me. Like, how could so many people love this book? I know there's people who don't like it, but so many people do. And it's just like, what was I missing? Like, what exactly did you guys like, that I just did not like at all? I don't want to get too deep into it. Definitely when it comes to book reviews, I think it is one thing to be said. I know if you're watching like book reviews, you know what type of level of spoiler content that you can handle, right? For some people, it's hearing anything about the book. For some, it's reading the back of the book is too much of a spoiler. Even for me, reading the back of the book is too much. Sometimes I just read like the first 2 sentences and that's it. Like, I call it a day, right? So I will say I'll try my best not to be too spoilery into these books, but in my opinion, I feel like even talking about the themes will tell you the story. I don't know. It's you know your level of spoiler content when you go into book review videos. So if you're watching this, I'll try my best not to go to specifics, but there might be some things I might talk about where it's like, it's a spoiler, right? So it's weird for me to say spoiler free when it's like, to me, spoiling is like anything when you start talking about the book. I know the back of the book, it's free for everyone to read the back, but I know many people don't even read the back. So yeah, we'll talk about it a little bit, just very little. I don't want to spend too much time on Fourth Wing, just because I'm scared. I'm a little scared to talk about it. But I have notes. I have like a whole Notion page. One day I will share my Notion. I really, really want to because I organize my thoughts, my books, and like my tracking. I have graphs on there. And I think it's fun. I'm like an organized girly. So if I'm looking down, I have my laptop in front of me and then I have my phone also. So give me a second while I like recollect my thoughts. I know everything I didn't like. I guess to be short, like I just didn't really care about the characters. I didn't care for the writing. It was very cringy writing. I learned very quickly that, not very quickly, I'm sorry, it actually happened much later in the book. So props to that, but I'm not too much of a smut reader. I don't mind smut, but I prefer a slow burn love, you know? I prefer, like, it takes us 200 pages, 300 pages to get somewhere. I know that's not everyone's cup of tea, but for me, it's just like, I like the flirting aspect. I love the you know, like, ooh, you're into me kind of like feelings. And so that's what I prefer in love or romance stories. This one also, I thought it was going to be more about dragons. I know some people say there's like a good amount of dragon content in it. To me, it was like, not really. What are you guys talking about? There wasn't too much dragon content, okay? I don't know what you're talking about, but it's fine. Maybe I prefer much more, and I know this is the first book out of what, 4 to 5 book series, so I shouldn't like judge it too harshly when we know the story is going to continue on from there, but no, this ended up being more of a romance book, more than like the action that I expected to be, or like the background of the story expected it to be. I don't know. I just had a hard time imagining the world besides them being at school, and even that, like, I don't know how. Maybe it's just me. And again, it's the first book I've actually went into. But disclaimer, again, I'm not sure if I said it in the beginning. I did listen to it as an audiobook. I do not own the physical. I personally don't think it would make a difference if I read it physically versus audibly for this specific book. I still think I wouldn't like it as much. I'm sorry. Gave it a 2. But I will say this, to end it off with Worthling. Liam, best character. Rhiannon, best character, okay? Even though I still didn't care about anyone else, if I had to pick 2 people or 1 person, Liam, oh my god, like clearly the author can write good characters, and he was one of them. And Rhiannon, best girl, so it's just like, she's a real one, alright? Dragons were hella funny, their dialogues were hella funny. I just wish there was more of that in the first book. That's all. And I'm not interested in reading the rest of the series. It's okay. You know, like maybe sometime in the future, but it's last on my priority list versus like the huge TBR I do have of like angers. So I do enjoy watching content on the whole Fourth Wing, Iron Flame, and everything else. I love seeing people get excited about it and like just talk about how much fun they are with these type of books. So I do love like consuming it in that form, but the book itself, I'm just not interested. So yeah, 2 stars. That's the first book that started the whole thing. Moving on. After reading that and how sad I was that like I read something or listened to something that, like a book that didn't really get me like excited, and I really wanted to go back into that fantasy lore, right? So in order of when I read all these, we started reading The Hobbit. It's super cute cover, isn't it? I'm not sure if my camera will focus. It's been a like hot minute since I've like filmed on this, so I'll just keep it here. But The Hobbit. I watched, okay. I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan, but can you call yourself a fan if you haven't read the books? You can't. I think you can't. I just didn't get to it, okay? That's when it comes to these things, when they have like a huge series to it to read, and definitely if you're not a reader like myself, I knew I was going to get to it eventually. I personally enjoyed the film a lot, but I did hear a lot of talk about people who did read the book that they didn't like the film, or some just like, you know, disagreement in terms of how the film was. In my opinion, when I watched the film, I was like, what? It's great. What are you guys talking about? Finally read the book. And I listen to it. So I do both media when I read sometimes, if I have the credits available in my Audible. And Andy Serkis, isn't it? Let me see. I'm pretty sure I took notes on this. But that's his name, right? Andy Serkis? Yeah. He was the person who did the audiobook, and I think it was freaking fantastic. It felt like the movie itself. And he is, what's it called? Oh my, I keep wanting to say Dobby. He's Schmeagol. So it was just perfect. Definitely when his part came in. But I will say, after reading the book, I see what you guys are talking about. I see what the fans are talking about when they said they didn't like the film, knowing how good the damn book was. This was so good. If you want to know my rating, 5 stars, easily. I think, I'm going to say it right now, but I think all Lord of the Rings books is going to be 5 stars. I do plan on reading them all. But, you know, I wanted, after that 2-star read that I had, I wanted a 5-star real quick because I was so sad. And it was perfect. It was the perfect one to get back into. And this book has illustrations. I think it's worth showing if you were interested in picking up books. I came from reading manga, which has images everywhere. And so to have pictures in my books, it makes me really, really happy. I don't even know what much there is to say. It's just, gonna be horrible with summarizing the books. I'm so sorry. I feel like if you're really interested, go ahead and look it up yourself. Maybe I'll refilm this and try to like summarize the script better. I don't know. I'm gonna be so vague with it. Just go on with my reactions, base how much I like it or not, and if I remember some details worth talking about, alright? But another disclaimer. It's just an adventure book. Adventure, you know, there wasn't even love or anything. It's nothing about romance. I don't have anything against romance. I'm just not as attracted to, if the story is mainly romance, I'm just not attracted to it. It needs to be a subplot. I don't have my attention on it unless it's like written really good. And I wouldn't know because I haven't read anything. I haven't read anything that's just romance purely, right, without anything else, or it's just like the relationship of two. I prefer to consume that type of media, romance, in manga form. Like I read love mangas of all sorts. Okay, like we don't even want to talk about it, but I have read everything. Almost everything. I shouldn't say everything, but it's not that I don't like romance. It's not like I don't like love. But yeah, it didn't even have that. It was just, I guess, no, you know what? Let's just say the love for adventure. If you're going to expand on love, you know what I mean? It was fun. I loved it. I love the journey. It feels like a reread type book. Like I feel like I should read this every January. That's how much I enjoyed The Hobbit. So that is worth the read. That was what I read in February. Hey, I left you guys again. Let me get my notes out properly. If you can hear, sorry, I had to cut because guess what's happening right now? Fireworks. Right across California Adventures. So they're having their fireworks, and I think the AC or turned on. So if you're hearing background, we're gonna get a mic eventually in the future. But right now, like, I think you can make content even with just work with what you got before you upgrade to anything else. Okay, let me talk about the next book that I read after The Hobbit. And it is, I want to put, like, I have very specific notes for this one, so I want to pull up my notion for this. Yes, okay. It's a beautiful cover in my opinion. But The Library at Mount Char. Y'all, this book, hello, is not for everyone, okay? I think that goes for hella books, okay? That not every book is for everyone, or like a general book. This is definitely not the book for everyone, okay? It is crazy. It is one of those that you absolutely must go into it not knowing anything. I think it's more enjoyable that way. Books in general is more enjoyable that way. But this one specifically, even just read, don't even read the back. Okay, like, I don't know, maybe do read the back. It is a little bit confusing in the beginning because you're trying to understand the magic system, because it does involve magic and it does involve a library. Let me just tell you that, okay? It is a mystery. It's a mystery. I don't know. What's the mystery, right? Like, I guess you can assume what kind of mystery it is. But it's definitely a mystery book. This was my first time reading a mystery book. And I didn't even know it was a mystery book. I didn't even know how crazy this was. If you saw my annotations of, I don't think you can read this part, and I hope it doesn't focus. I'll cover this part. But I even made a cheat sheet guide on the characters and their magic abilities, because I honestly was lost. I was the percent that got a little lost in the beginning of the book. But if you focus a little bit more, they do bring it up multiple times, like the magic system. You do kind of get it towards the middle, or you will get the hang of what's going on. But to summarize this book, first let me tell you my rating. 4 stars. I gave it 4 stars because of the emotions I felt, and the journey I went through was crazy. If I were to put this book into one word, I would say unhinged. To me, this is the definition, or at least my standard, going into other books before it gets knocked off by another book that might be the new standard for this. But unhinged. Oh, the dialogue in this book, the characters are the most heuristic, and I'm used to crazy characters, because again, if you've never read manga, there's all sorts of characters. Definitely if you go into, let's name a big one, One Piece, right? One Piece has so many creative characters. So many. So there's so many flavors. They're so bright. They're so unique. They have all a backstory. And I would say out of we're in March, filming this right now, we're in the middle of March, and I've read a couple books already. The most I've ever read in 10 years. This probably still holds up as very colorful characters. They're wild. I don't know, they explain scenarios in the most, again, unhinged way that I'm just we're just gonna move on. You're just gonna drop that bomb of a story, of that backstory of what happened to this person, and we're just gonna continue moving on? What? It's oh, okay. It's crazy. Definitely if you listen to the audiobook of this. I listen to both. You can see my annotations good, but audiobook and physical copy, because it feels really good. I don't know. I just really like the feeling of this cover. I'm the type of person, I think all of us who read books are like this, but just the feel of paper and the feel of the cover, it just gets me excited. But I don't need that for every book I read. I'm fine reading electronically or just listening to it audibly. But I will say though, there is a scene that, not a scene, but a part in the book, I will say, you should always look up the trigger warnings for books. Definitely if you're in a certain emotional position, or what you definitely wouldn't enjoy reading about. Out of all the books here, I would say look up the trigger warnings for this one specifically. Again, this book is not for everybody, and there is a part in here. I think it's a pretty big part in my opinion. Not huge, but it's a couple pages. It feels like a couple pages. I don't know. It's been a while since I read it. It's only been a month, but it feels like forever. There is a part, and I will say, again, I want you to go into this not knowing anything, but it even bothered me, or it bothered me to a point where I'm just damn, did you have to have this moment in the book for this long? We couldn't just sum it up and move on. But it is a very important part for two characters, for them to progress together. It's something that they needed, and I love these two characters very much towards the rest of the book. But I will say the part that you should read a trigger warning for is animals. A very specific animal. If you read the book, you know what I'm talking about exactly, a very specific part. And I was kind of shocked. Not too shocked, because it was already unhinged in the beginning, but I was just shocked how long we had to read about this part. I'm just come on, it's not all of us like to hear about stuff happening like this to animals, And that's all I can say about that. That might, if anything, make you hate this book. You might like it, you might hate it because of that. For me, I just enjoy crazy books like this, I don't know, it made me feel so many emotions, and the ending was not predictable. I feel like I can predict a book to a decent level. Sometimes I don't even bother predicting if I'm super into the story, right? I just want to read till the end and be like, oh my god. Did not predict the ending to this book. I don't think you will. You tell me if you read this book and you predicted the ending, like, you tell me. Did not. And I think for that, yeah, 4 stars. It's a scary one for me to say, like, would recommend reading it. No, just read the trigger warning first, and if any of those, like, you just won't enjoy in a book, just, yeah, it's okay. But if you're okay, like, just pushing past that and just reading for what it was, I thought it was a pretty fun ride. But yeah, this library about Char. Now, a book that one of my friends recommended to read, and it has a really, really cool ass cover, in my opinion, and a perfect time to read for February. Let me also pull this up. Actually no, I don't know if I had notes for this one. I didn't fully write out my thoughts. I do write out my thoughts on the day, like I have a reading log. I'm a journal type person, but lately it's just easier to do it electronically. But I have a reading log here, and I don't think I summarized it, but it's fine. I remember how I felt when I read this. I read it and I listened to the audiobook. Just like with The Hobbit, where I highly recommend that you listen to the audiobook for, if you are an audiobook person, I can't even say that word, ring shout. You should. I think it's easier to read if you also listen alongside, because one, I'm a sucker for accents. Has an accent, of course. And the story in general. And they can say the names a lot better, but this is a crazy book too. Yo, I was on a crazy book high. I wouldn't say it's unhinged. Pretty much, as you can tell with the title, I mean, not the title, but of what it looked like. The KKK. Right? And then it looks like a monster, right? So, to my surprise, I guess it shouldn't be a surprise because it's literally on the cover, but they're monsters. Not like metaphorically, but like literally, they're monsters too. And that it's a book about that. It's about a girl and her friends, or a woman, I'm sorry, they're not like little girls, they're women. And they're here to hunt these people, the KKK, the monsters, and they're the only ones who can see them. If not the only ones, but not everyone's able to see their true form. And it's wild. You can't predict this one either. You should, I don't know. I enjoyed this book a lot. It feels like a good reread, or at least a re-listen. But yeah, you should pick it up. What did I rate this one? I think I actually rated it, no, 4 stars. Yep. As you can see, when it comes to like really weird books, or not even weird, but emotionally or like intense books like these two, I rate them pretty high. I'm also, oh my god, I can't wait for the next month's video because I feel like I just give 5 stars like it's nothing. But whatever. I feel like if you give me emotional feelings, not in like a super, super negative way, because some books, because I did read Yellowface, but we'll talk about that next month, or on that video. Some books are like meant to make you feel so freaking frustrated. But, you know, besides that feeling, these made me cry. I do cry. And smile and be giddy, and then like my jaw dropped. You know, like these 2 books made my jaw drop. Stuff like that. But yeah, that's another book I read, and then I'm excited to talk about these 2. These were 5 stars for me, okay? Like, we were just going up after 4th Way. I'm sorry, 4th Way, I'm sorry. But it was just nothing but 4 and 5 stars for me. A Palm for the Wild and A Prayer for the Crown Shot. I read them back to back. Also read them while listening to the audiobook. Oh, I liked listening to the audiobook because the robot in the book is, also this is my new favorite author. Sorry if my thoughts are all over the place, but her writing is fantastic. I freaking love her writing, and now she is my favorite author. But I like their voice on, or I guess they prefer to go by it, but like I like its voice in the audiobook. But they're beautiful covers. Let me show you one at a time. As I pull up my notes, this may be like an unpopular opinion, but I personally super enjoyed the second book more than the first book, right? And this is a book where Becky Chambers, I think that's her name for this one, right, was able to not only describe the scenery, like look how small it is. I don't even think these are more than what, like how many? Less than 200 pages, like 140 pages, right, between the two books. And in a short amount of time, she was able to describe the world to you and make you feel feelings and like dialogue back to back. Heavy on the dialogue, right? Like with this amount of time you have to tell a story, we were focused on two characters, and it's pretty much like their worlds are divided, right? Between, oh my gosh, not me pulling his name. I forgot his name. Let me go find it. Dex and Mosscap. Dex and Mosscap, right? And the first book definitely had a lot of that dialogue between the two, because that's the main focus, right? It pretty much is like what makes you human type book, and like it's deep. It's deep, but it doesn't flower it too much, you know, like the writing is really good. I don't know, I enjoyed it a lot. They give you questions that even you want to answer for them, you know what I mean? Like when Mosscap the robot pretty much asked Dex a question, he asked it, it asks it in a way where you want to answer to along with Dex, you know, like you want to be like, well, this is what I think about it. It's like a good conversational book. But I think the second one explores more like deeper feelings between each other, between the two characters as well, in terms of like we were along this journey for so long that, like, I don't know how to explain it. I'm so bad at explaining, but I enjoyed the second book a lot more than the first one. The first one was already really good. They're both 5 stars for me, but I had a lot more fun in the second one because I was really anticipating how it was going to end between the two. And so I kind of assumed what was going to happen, but again, it's just more heavy on the back-to-back dialogue between each other. And so just I wanted to know what they were going to talk about. You know, I wanted to be in the room, and that's how it felt like. So I don't know if I did this justice, but I personally really like these two books, and they're beautiful covers, and I'm a sucker for robots. If you ever see my TBR or like the physical books that I do own, there's a lot of robots. What makes you human type books, alright? But yeah, that was my... God, I hope this video turned out to be okay. Sorry if I was a little bit nervous. This is the first one. It's not going to make a lot of sense. I'm sorry. But yeah, that was our first, not only like Booktube newbie tag, but also pretty much February book review. Book review as in like, I tell you the title, what I rated it, and then like how I felt, and then you guys kind of have to guess the story. I'll do a better job next time. I don't think I want to be like too exactly perfect for the first one. But yeah, if you want to join my journey, this pretty much to like conclude everything, this is pretty much just documenting my journey reading. It's not really like pushing to, I don't know. It's the main purpose of this is to document and to share, because when I enjoy watching book reviews and just watching people talk, even if we don't agree on the same book. Like a lot of people that I watch love Fourth Wing, okay? Like don't get me wrong, I love just like mixed reviews and it's so personal what you read and what you like and what your rating. Like I have my own rating too of like what 4 stars means to me, what 3 stars means to me, which I'll go into deeper another time, but it's just all personal, right? And I just love people talking about like how they interpret a book versus how I interpreted it. So I didn't really go into depth with this one because I this is the first video, and if I were to do something super heavy in the spoilers, I would definitely like note that in the title. I feel like heavy on the spoilers on a certain book, but we're just getting to know each other, and this is like the interest of books that I have and what I didn't like, right? So yeah, I hope you have a good time. I hope if you want to subscribe to my channel, and not much, it's literally the only video on here, but again, it's just mainly a journey of what we're gonna do and what we're gonna read together, and that's it. And then let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, you know? And then maybe like if you like the books that I like, or you can recommend some stuff that I should be reading or should like dip my toes into it. Don't be afraid if I liked it or don't like it. Don't worry. Like, I have read trash. I'm not saying like literally like the books I mentioned here. No, like I have read all sorts of things and still enjoyed it, even though it was like trash. It's fine. I can enjoy it still. There's a certain level. Of course. And I think it's different. Like, consuming manga for me, I can read all sorts. Even if it's not great, I can still read it and have a great time. But learning with like novels, like books, these big, you know, like I think definitely with how long it takes me to read them, I'm trying to be more careful in terms of like not spending too much time reading something I hate. You know, I don't have a lot of time. Like, I'm not the type of person who's gonna read 100 books a year, alright? Like, you know what the goal is? 12. We're actually like gonna surpass that easily by next month, but that's always gonna be my goal, is 1 book a month. No matter how busy you are, 1 book a month. So yeah, feel free to like and subscribe and comment what's your favorite book and what book should I be reading or not, or just say hi. Okay, bye. Hi, it's future me. I didn't do a good job explaining some of the I just know it. It's fine. Let me know if you prefer to have more content in terms of like how much I speak about the book, of like the synopsis essentially. Maybe I'll try it for one video. But yeah, I think I got a little too excited just to tell you how I feel. You probably have no clue what the book is. Or maybe you do. Hopefully you do. I don't know. But yeah, future me just saying sorry. And sorry if you hear things in the background, because we're not editing it all out. Okay. Bye. Did you like it? I think you did, huh? Okay, goodbye.